Shalom. Reparations is the most appropriate legislature response to the historical practices and contemporary conditions of the black community. Robin Rue Simmons, local alderman, who introduced a legislation, told NBC News, although many of the anti-black policies have been outlawed, many remain embedded in policy, including zoning and other government practices. So like Chicago Suburbs could be the first in the U.S. to pay reparations to black citizens or residents, and will fund them with marijuana tax. That's an RT. It's an RT report there. That was earlier today. Chicago Suburbs looks like it will be the first to pay reparations to black residents, and it has a novel way of funding them. Evanston City Council included a reparation fund in budget last year, with tax revenue and sales of legal recreation cannabis funding a pledge of $10 million over 10 years. March 22nd, it will vote on whether the first $400,000 of this will go to a program to address housing needs among long-term black residents. Residents would get $25,000 to use towards home ownership, home improvement, mortgage assistance if they live in Evanston between 1919 and 1969. A period during which many banks refuse to lend money to black people, and real estate agents, brokers engage in racial zoning. Relates to that red zoning too, that redlining. The red means the high risk. Blue and green means affluent and most desired areas. If you look it up, I'll read that again. A period during which many banks refuse to lend money to black people, and real estate agencies, brokers engage in racial zoning, confining black residents to one area of West Evanston, and being hailed as a model for other cities in the U.S., but some feel there is a lot more to be done. Reparations is the most appropriate legislative response to the historical practices and the contemporary condition of the black community. Robin Sue Simmons, I read this, but I'll read it again, local alderman who introduced legislation, told the NBC News, although many of the anti-black policies have been outlawed, many remain embedded in policy, including zoning and other government practices. That relates to that RT. Want to get some scriptures and give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. Call Halion Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. Give double honors to the elders and apostles for their education, knowledge, and edification through the years, so this truth can be passed down and be taught and be learned. And give all praise again to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kadash. I want to go to Psalms. Go to Psalms 31. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Number 15. My times are in my hands. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and from them that persecute me. And this relates to Israel's nation of Israel's adversary relates to these other nations. Also, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshah's adversaries, man. These other nations related to also Psalms 83, ones who are confederate, ones who've been confederate against the nation of Israel, pretty much since the beginning, man. Historically, and from the beginning. I'm going to go to Psalms 34. I'm going to read. I'm going to start from number 15. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open to their cries. Their cries up to the Lord. For the face of the Lord is against them that do evil, relates to the wicked, and to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. And that's the wicked. That's what the Lord is going to do. That's upon the wicked. That's the ones in power, man. He's going to cut them off. He's going to cut off relating to their rulership and ultimately cut them off. 17. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles, man. And the righteous are crying, really, starting with the elect, the prophets, the ones who are sighing and crying, man. So the Lord is beginning to go into the ears of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshah Sabaoth. 18. The Lord is nigh into them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh deliver him out of them all. So ultimately, the Lord is going to be that redeemer. And these relates to redeeming his people from the dealing with the adversities of their obstacles that they had to deal with relating to in their captivity, their bondage, relating to deal with the nations, man, because they're in spiritual bondage, man. Let me go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, because they talk about reparations. You can never financially or economically give a certain amount of money for things that was done historically. You know what I mean? It would bankrupt this country, man. It would be, they wouldn't be able to, they couldn't afford it. And the true reparations is the redeeming back to the Lord, man. The next kingdom would be the reparations, man. You know what I mean? Because while you're in captivity, you're not going to be in, nobody's going to buy you or redeem you out. You know what I mean? That's part of the curses, which I'm going to read. 28 and 60. 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. See, this is part of the punishment, man. You're going to be subjugated and subjected to your adversaries. And that's a punishment because of the disobedience relating to the Lord's people, man. So these other nations in a position of power. The Lord put them in power, and he also put them in a position to punish the nation of Israel, his people, for their disobedience. And they're not going to be released until the Lord releases them, man. Because this is a time and a period of punishment and reflection, man. And reflection and punishment for the nation of Israel, man. And that's bondage. It could be physical bondage, spiritual bondage, but it's a form of bondage, man, because you're under your adversaries, and they're the ones that are in a position of power, man. And through them, you gotta get through to get anything. You had to go through them. get everything: food, water, the necessities, food, water, housing, etc. So I'm going to go to, let me see, there's another verse. Psalms 120. Psalms 120. Psalms 120 and 2, I believe. Deliver my soul, O Lord, from the lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. That's the wicked, man. Lying lips, deceitful. Smooth tongue, they speak with smooth words, but in their heart is get it. 55, Psalms 21. I'll read number 20. Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, and have broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. That's that lying tongue, the deceit, the deception, the craftiness relating to that tongue, man. For they study of violence. Let's get Proverbs 24 and 2. Proverbs 24 and 2. For their heart study of destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Their lips talk of mischief, deceit, man. So they'll tell you the smooth and good things, or what you want to hear, but realistically, the question is, are they going to actually do it, man? Because they say, we'll research it, we'll plan it out, we'll look into it. And that's a stall tactic, because the real reality is, they can never afford to pay reparations. It's beyond money, man. And the true reparations relates to the redeeming back his, the Lord redeeming. That's the reparations. And this is a time for punishment, man, for the nation of Israel, man. So this is time supposed to be for reflecting and understanding certain things. So in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, talk about no man shall buy thee, man. So no one's going to buy thee and redeem thee. This is a time and period that the Lord has pretty much, Jeremiah 17 and 4, has discontinued from his people temporarily, but not permanently, because of their transgressions. So it's a temporary, long punishment, in a matter of speaking. This was just something short relating to their reparations. Related to that RT. Whoever listens, I hope it, benefits in some way. If the water, whoever listens to as well. We'll give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. The water, Shalom, thanks.